Hello, guys. It's Yannick Ariel Behan. I'm gotta present myself. I've been an artist for quite some time. I've worked on a lot of different projects. I've worked on a lot of different mediums, to be honest. And I was just watching a video, and it was talking about stress, emotions and repression of emotions. And I feel like in today's world, I've been in a lot of environments, especially corporate environments or uh, certain business environments where emotions are restrained. We're not allowed to express ourselves correctly with our own words. And it doesn't mean just swear words. It's just sometimes a process, and it feels like also emotions can carry us away from our goals. So as soon as our ego takes over, so that's why it's also good to be self-aware. But I did find that it is pretty difficult to find people to talk to and friends to have a conversation with that will actually listen, unless if you usually after a while I started finding them along the way, so it was a little bit easier for me to express myself on certain subjects, especially if there's a way to relate to one another. That was one way to release some of these emotions with another person, not necessarily to a way where one's screaming to the other. I think there's a way where just feeling heard or uh, pushing ourselves to listen to somebody, even though sometimes it is very difficult, can create a certain endurance of that emotional state that we don't like to get into. And it takes practice. It's just like anything. There was a monk that say joy is endurance. It doesn't take just one magic pill or nothing to just, it can be spontaneous. Joy is something that can appear right away. For the matter of stress, it's something that it can affect us in many situations. Sometimes I found certain memory that rebounds out of nowhere and appears in my field of vision. Like these things can appear, and then I found if I put myself in a certain situation that's a little bit more constructive but relates to that memory, it helps me heal over time. So I've started doing that with the movies, doing a lot of background work. I've been put in certain situations where actions, all these things that can happen. Especially when I was younger, a lot of things happened. So it it kept me with these images in my mind that I couldn't really get rid of, and it was a bit of a struggle for me at certain points, and sometimes and then I'd go through it, and just the fact that, like, if you can face your fear, it's also one way where you reduce stress. Unless if you're trying to attain a certain goal, then you're gonna perfectionate yourself. So you will stress yourself out a little bit, which in a way um, be a way for you to improve too. So you can you can create different ways to really stress. One best way is to breathe, and sometimes it's something we don't necessarily think about. We kind of let that slide, and we get carried along, just like thoughts. Like if you talk a lot, or like if you hear someone in the street having an argument, and they just have a monologue, that stress over, like, their ego took over. So after this, to regress from that, we'll take further steps, and it's uh, you know it's, uh, this is not necessarily maturity. I find certain people, like different age, can face different level of stress, and I've met as much as old people all the way to kids in school surroundings that would face certain situations of stress, even from bullying or anything it be. They'd react, and and they'd want revenge or whatever, but it never heals anything. So the main focus is how can we concentrate on ourselves and then create something that will heal us over time, right? Also, for stress, I found doing things for yourself, not just be a happy moment seeker all the time, or just think of only the positive ways to express yourselves, or only the ways not to hurt other people, because this will happen along the way, and this is a way we learn. It's not necessarily a way that we have to live by either, and if we can live away from it, good for us. I think, as I was saying, emotions are something vital to humans. Otherwise, we would just be machines, right? We wouldn't have any emotions. We would just say things as they are. It would create a lot much more frustration over time. That's what I felt when I'll say I tried, because all I achieved is just more frustration at the end. So now I try to keep my mind on top of my emotions, and this is thinking with your mind and not your heart. Because sometimes people may think with their heart if they're very passionate people. Especially, I've been in arts for a very, very long time. I've painted since I was 9 years old, and I've been around artists for all my life, as far as I know. All I can remember is just art everywhere. Both of my parents were in the Beaux-Arts, that's where they met. Both artists. My grandfather's an artist. We all have that in our blood, so now here I am. Anyhow, so this is basically what I was trying to say. That sometimes, also, if you follow your dreams, you have a reason to have stress for productive uh, ways. If you're gonna do a very difficult project, or if you have to understand people's need or people's wants, you are the person that will have to create a pathway for them to have this artwork. You will have to submit your ego, let go of everything that you were trying to have for all these years. The whole process of being who you are. Just let that go. You're not yourself anymore, and then that's where I'd be able to design a lot of artwork for people, because then I can get in their mind. When I mean get in their mind, it's not like a hypnotic thing. It's simply a way for me to remove myself out of the equation and be one with their moments. So it does take a effort, but also it takes a very subtle sensitivity, where you're not just you're thinking with your instinct, and that's where you can push further. You can get new ideas. If you always try to control everything, then you don't really evolve, because you do what a machine would do, a controlled action, right? So doing an error, will be stressful. You don't take errors for granted as you evolve from it, right? So that's a way to put yourself, also out there, with care for the people around you, and make sure that you do what you need to, be a good person. By itself can be stressful. If you just think, I want to be a good person, you're just gonna stress out, because each time you don't meet these expectations, then you are not that good person. So then you only delay yourself from this goal. Being a good person goes with, it's a very subtle thing. A lot of things are very subtle in life, I find. Uh, we we tend to uh, only look at the big picture, which is good because setting a goal will get you there eventually if you put enough work into it. Does it mean it's going to be a goal for uh, that ideal, or is it going to be just you're going to live that ideal life that you imagine? These are questions, you know, you may not want to have if you have that determination. If you do, then you have to do everything, you know, uh, possible to get there. You know, I'm not 50 Cent. I'm not going to do the same drills he did. Um, Good for him if he got there, right? And I'm pretty sure he's well known now. So a lot of stuff takes time, you know. And I do believe that, you know, with as much effort as you can put, you know, you will have a certain amount of stress. If you enjoy the path, then you will enjoy your life a bit more, especially for the time being. It's kind of like working out. If you don't stress those muscles are not going to build themselves, right? So you have to sort of think outside of of the design, right? You're not always who you say you are. One day you're one person, another day you're another person. It's and life goes on, right? Um, so not really care much for things that will block you if you don't learn anything from it. Then being careful about this because it's if you do listen, you will learn. So where does the limit draw itself, right? I always say in philosophy, there's one way or there's another, but both ways work, right? It's not like there's a good and a bad, right? I had a friend I truly admired for her philosophy, and she'd always say, "I don't use don'ts or I don't use no," and that's why I'm so happy. And I, I, I found it admirable. I've tried because I questioned myself before I met that person. I used too much uh, negation, and I wanted to evolve to be a better person. So I can I can be someone remarkable one day. It's it's not like knocking on heaven's door and then waiting for an angel or saint to just show you the path. Yeah, so the idea basically is if a path is created by somebody, then it means that, like, if you create a path from another person, then this person is building a path for you because you needed someone to build a path for you. Is that path the path that you need, or the path that you need from the expectation that was completed by that person that gave you that path? So I think, yes, stress will be progressive in some way. Sometimes you need people to give you a certain amount of guidance. So if you have people that have some wisdom, knowledge, and that's why friends are here for. And sometimes in stressful situations, we only listen to friends and not to ourselves. So I've heard of people that need time alone so that they can heal themselves. And then these people turn out to be happier at the end. It takes more effort to actually, uh, it's like a transgression. You're, you're progressing in the same times you are not, and you're not feeling like you're progressing, but eventually you progress. Um, so this is a way to heal from these moments, um, and concentrate on yourself. Concentrate on these emotions. Understand your emotions. Understand who you are. And once you start to do so, then you can see the path. The path you create, and you'll create it on a daily basis. You can be somebody, or um, you can expect to be somebody, right? If you are somebody, you will meet stressful moments because you will be uh, not just in confrontation with yourself and what you may have put out there, which is not necessarily great. Nobody's perfect, and if you meet people that are, um, then congratulations, you just won the perfect prize. I think we we do always have to stay humble towards ourselves. Uh, Even if I call myself an artist, I might not be the best artist out there. But in stressful situations where my ego is be beaten down, I will tell myself I'm the best artist, just to myself. Now, doesn't mean anything because I can't compare myself to anybody. I don't know everybody. How would I? Who would I be to say I'm the best, or even say I'm the worst? Right? If you do say such a thing, then you're then comparing yourself, and so that's why it is good sometimes to push yourself, push your ego with happiness, with pride, uh, with things that will move you forward. Especially when you're not really doing any competition, you're just doing it for yourself because uh, you know it's it, it is selfish by definition, um, but because it's for yourself and it doesn't involve anybody, then it is not selfish towards others. Uh, because in the long run, you do help more people if you learn from the suffering. Um, I think I always get scared of such thing like when I do say I do learn from the struggle or things like this. If you go through a uh, hard path, or something hard to patch up, it will take a lot of effort to get back on your feet. So that is one of the reason why it is wise to be grateful, and I think this is why it meets a lot of people that are very happy, seem to have everything they want, and they may pray at night, they may be grateful, they may be thankful anytime they can find a way to embrace a stranger's smile and respond with a smile, uh, be a generous spirit, essentially. Um, how Bob Marley say it's soulful rich is something that will get you somewhere. Now, money is a um, stressful, you know, uh, thing, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to attach an emotion to something materialistic, then attach something positive, right? Now, uh, maybe you can compare it to something uh, that will make you feel bad. So the thing is kind of like a rhythm. I found if you I once you get going, then it is easier to keep going. The hardest part is to start. So if you're in need, then you create that feeling of need, and you will build your relationship with whatever you get, um, with that need that you will have at the end anyway. Does that make sense? In relation to the materialistic world, which is a world we need to a certain extent, right? So what do we need? We need a place to sleep. We need food, and then we need shoes. You know, if it's cold outside, yeah, we need these things, right? Um, Especially if you're a vegan and you can't hunt for your own skin out there, right? So these are the things, right? You know, in nowadays society with the technology we have and the progress we've built, uh, a way to really stress too is you know, find relationships, get into relationships, get into goals that you can achieve within the day, and do little things when your mind tells you do this and you don't, and you just say, I'll just pass. That will build a follow up of the next thing, and then you'll just. But if you just do it right away, and that thing doesn't exist, so it doesn't delay itself, so it doesn't try to reattach. It's like your soul is like trying to explain to your body you have to do this, and you're being pulled away, kind of like in a roller coaster when you feel, you know, like your guts that are separating, or your stomach is like lifting up there. It's basically this, like, it feels a bit the same way, right? How far how far can you go, you know, without realizing uh, who you are? So you can you can create you can create anything, you know, in this world. It does take a lot of steps, right? It does take a lot of effort. It does take a lot of patience. It does take a lot of humbleness, you know, loyalty towards the people you love. Faith is a big word. Um, I was taught that word by a friend who gave me a book, and it said faith. I asked her, you know, I can't do this. I'm dealing with so much. I have no food to eat. I don't know. What am I going to do? Right? Life is so hard. I don't get along with this person, this and that, and I don't know how, why, you know, and no answers. And then she handed me a book and she said, there you go. I just had to. Uh, she's probably gonna know by now, hopefully. Um, I never read that book. I probably looked at the first page. I don't like books. I'm not a book person. I like books. Don't get me wrong. I like books. I have too many excuses not to like them, and that's one way to get away from reality sometimes, from responsibilities. I mean, in the real world. I just had to remind myself faith, always to have faith. And then as soon as I started believing in faith, and I researched faith, I never really understood the word since I was a kid. I used to ask the priest because I got to church later on in my years because I needed guidance, I believe, and I never really understood faith, just like chemistry. I never really got the grasp for it. It didn't make sense. It's like faith. It's not. It doesn't. It's not real. Like how how is faith a real thing? And and then I slowed down. I think it took me, you know, um, there's an artist, Estero, and she says, "The world I know is a world much too slow. Don't move fast enough. Keep your head low." And then the chorus again, and it says, "The world I know is a world much too slow, unless if you're a Lucky Charm." And that's basically it. The idea is, you know, when things are moving really, really fast, then we want to make quick decisions, but we're not really in control, unless if we're really good at it. If you're an expert at something, you you're you're a pro. You can do this, bro. You know. So uh, otherwise, you go slow mo, right? You just take it easy and you learn, and you know, or you just go by life with your charm, you know, and charm can help. Charm can help, just as philosophy can help to get over stress. Exercising can help. Routine, achieving your goals. Also, doing things that will make you a better person, a greater person, I may say. So you can evolve. Uh, Observing achievements in your life, being grateful for the people you have around you and the life you've lived, for the bad and for the good, for the fact that you survived it or you lived through it, and here you are. You're still you. You still got, you know, part of yourself. You know, um, so I think, you know, the soul is kind of like uh, you know, in the heart can help a lot if you understand it. Um, at first, it's always good to think with your mind in really fast moments because it's your mind. It's your intellectual level, maybe. You know, if you're doing a little rap battle with your friends, if you're if it's a technical thing, then you got to know your tools, right? You got to know how to work with what you've learned so far. Uh, so these are the things uh, to be aware of. If you're an athlete, you know you're gonna deal with a lot of stress, and then eventually you're gonna see the results, or you're gonna feel the results on your next run. You're gonna, whoa, whoa. So so yeah, you know it's gonna hurt. It always hurts. You know, any type of healing always hurts. Otherwise, it's not healing, right? Otherwise, if it doesn't hurt, then that means um, you know you've been through this. You can, you know, you can basically you can tell yourself you can do anything now. Um, just be realistic, um, and these could be, yeah, ways to get over stress. Be healthy, eat good food, drink water, eat your greens and vegetables. Uh, you know, be grateful for your meals too, and live life day by day. If you're in a desperate place, remember that it's these daily steps that will bring you to a greater place. Uh, and You can make changes every day, or you can just wait. There was a rap song, and it said, "I wait, my weight's in the gym." So the idea is, yeah, you're waiting, but you're doing something, right? Um, so you don't you don't always have to, you know, relax can be a really good way to remove stress. Don't get me wrong, sleeping is key. Why? Because it's the only time probably where you truly breathe. You just that's it. You know, no more talking, no more running around, no more errands to burn. You're you know no more shooting arrow. You're or holding an arc in position. That's it. Now you just relax, right? You're like the branch on the tree all of a sudden. You're not the branch cut down and chiseled to be on an arrow, or a cherry tree branch that's been, like, you know, dipped in hot water and bent and blah 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 to make an arc, right? So, yeah. So that's it. you know, metaphorically, it's not just the light or the darkness, um, humanly speaking, that will change your your path. These are not just two paths. Life is way more than we look at it. We're not dogs. You know, um, sometimes we may be in the park and we may have to behave like we are, but we know who we are, and we always remind ourselves. We can see in colors, and the colors can even be iridescent. So, so that's it. That was my little video. Sorry, I had to cut through the middle of it because I was running out of batteries. Um, and hopefully, I can make more videos, and you can like and subscribe just on the button below. And if you have any questions or comments, anything that may have helped you or you don't understand and you'd like me to explain, then I'll read it, and maybe it'll be the next subject on the next video. Thank you. Bye.